countdown? Alright, yep. Yeah, I am ready.
Let me know when you're ready for a countdown.
Yeah, I am ready.
Alright, let's get started in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. Let me just get through these quick little startup screens here. And then while I'm in this cutscene, I'll explain what I do. Alright, hello, I am SuperViperT302. This is going to be Super Mario 64 70 star. So in case you're wondering what this category is, it's essentially any percent no major skips. So allowed, and no BLJs or backwards long jumps are allowed, both of which are glitches you can use to beat the game early. So this is kind of beating the game more or less as intended. And this category has been heavily optimized over the years. This is one of the most pushed speed games out there. There's been a lot of competition for this game recently, so I aim to give it the best showing that I can. Anyway, so the first trick of the run I'm going to go for is called a key to skip. There's parts on the left and right side of the bridge that don't take the cutscene into account for whatever reason, so you can just long jump off the left edge of the bridge and skip the key to cutscene. And it saves around 8 seconds if you can get it. Oh, I didn't get it. That's fine. Yeah, it's pretty precise. I was a bit too far to the right there. So yeah, I just have to get through these text boxes. That was around 8 seconds. So that, we're going to move to the first and only available course of the game, Bob on Battlefield. And I'm going to start off by going for a strat called Island Hop, which is not really marathon safe, but for the sake of the marathon, I'm just going to attempt it once. So it's actually possible to reach the floating island without the cannon or the wing cap, and the way I'm going to try to do that is by using a frame-perfect wall kick that will allow me to maintain a lot of speed, and then convert that into a double jump dive that gives me just enough momentum to reach the island. Oh, I didn't get it. I actually had the setup right, but I mistimed my A input, so I fell down. It's okay. Oh. Oh god. This run's not up to great. Anyway, so what I'm trying now is bomb clip. So when a bomb is about to explode, you have a 4-frame window to grab it before it detonates. And I am failing hardcore right now. Anyways. So what I'm trying to do is grab it during one of those 4 frames. And that is not working out so well for me. Alright, I'm gonna grab this red coin for safety. I don't know why this is so hard all of a sudden. There we go. And it pushes you backwards because of its hitbox, so you can use these quick to change on skate. So yeah, that was rare. This run is extremely tough, and sometimes things like that can just go really wrong. So I'll actually be coming back to get the island star later, but for now I'm going to be heading off to the Princess's Secret slide. It saves 1 second to do this before going to Womp's Fortress due to the castle movement. And the slide is pretty famous because there's a really well-known shortcut on here, and it's also famous because people like guessing the times on it for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this corner to kind of turn me around like this. I'm going to use this railing over here to turn me back around and then jump off to the side and skip like half the slide. And kind of go all the way down. 12.7 that's a rare time for me. That's actually really good. So yeah, that skip saves a decent amount of time. And with that, I'm going to be heading on to Womp's Fortress, which is unfortunately one of the most reset-heavy levels in this category. There's a lot of difficult stuff in this run, and especially in this stage. There's a lot of difficult stuff. And you just want to get a good beginning, and it's really hard to get a good beginning with Womp's Fortress here. So this first trick I'm going to go for is called Owlless. You're supposed to use an owl to get into the caged island here, but with a precise triple jump wall kick, you can just do that, and you can just wall kick into the cage instead. It's actually a lot harder than it looks, and it only takes like 5 seconds. That should work. Nice, got it first try. And so next up, I'm actually going to be doing the 100 coin star. And there are 400 coin stars I'm going to be doing in this run, and I'm going to be combining them with a different star, so that's one less trip to the level. In this case, I'm going to be combining it with a red coin star. And the first part of this route, I need to have pretty good movement throughout, because there's a cycle I want to make midway through it. Alright, I should make it. Nice. So yeah, that cycle requires like less than like a second worth of mistakes for that first like portion of the star. And from here on, this will be pretty straightforward. Oh, almost fell off there. That was a little bit scary. Yeah, you should probably just understand that because there's just so much depth to how you control Mario in this game, movement is extremely important. There's so many optimizations you can make to Mario's movement. Like, every time I do a dive roll, like, which is the move I just did there, I want the dive roll to be dustless because then Mario doesn't slow down when he does the dive recover, and he actually maintains his speed. Another thing you'll probably be noticing me doing is I'm not saving at all because that loses lag frames. And one bit of save tech I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding left on the star select menus because that will cause a counter to increase early. That will allow me to hold down at those text boxes. I'll explain this more in detail later, but right now I'm going to be doing blast away the wall, except I don't have the cannon, so how am I going to do it? By ledge grabbing on a tiny slit where the wall is and allowing Mario's hitbox to overlap with the star's hitbox, therefore allowing him to collect a star. Got it, nice. So that's called cannonless, and all that setup I was doing there was a setup sound by sock folder that gets you into the perfect position where you can just hold straight down and it works almost every time. So next up, I'm going to shoot into the wild.
Is it okay if I say a few things?
There we go. So this tech that I'm doing at the star select screen is I'm holding left, which causes a counter to increase. That allows me, if you notice here, I'm just going to hold straight down. And as you can see, it just scrolls immediately to continue don't save. Normally you would have to tap down twice in order to do that optimally, but by doing that, hold left, I can just hold down, and it works. Alright, so I'm going to get to Womp King here for this star. So Womp King, there's a cool glitch you can do with this guy, where if you ground pound while he's falling down, you just flip right through him. Makes the fight a lot easier and a lot faster. Okay, ground pounded a little early there. I'm gonna go for the swag dive. Oh, I didn't get it. You have 1 frame before that cutscene starts where you can make an input, and so I like to mash B and try to get a dive. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. I don't think it saves or loses time. Alright. So now I have 1 more star to do, and it's this fortress star. I'm actually going to be playing the star with a zoomed-in camera. And I also saved the star for last for the same reason as that, and that's to reduce lag. I'm playing this on the Nintendo 64 version. Which is kind of the most, it's the standard use for competitive speed play for this game, but unfortunately it does have lag and loading times, whereas the Wii Virtual Console emulators do not. Alright, so that's Womps. So sadly, I lost a lot of time at the beginning there, but overall that Womps was actually very solid. I didn't really make any huge mistakes. So now we're done with that, and I'm going to be heading back to the slide to get the star that's in the box. The star I got before was the star you get from finishing the slide in under 21 seconds. I'm going to go for that same shortcut. Alright. This is going to be a somewhat slow time. Oh, 12.8. That's also pretty rare for me.
While this is going on, do you mind if I say a few things?
Alright, so after this star, I'm going to be going into Mario Cam. And that's because I want to keep that light out of view, because that actually causes lag as well. And this is the wing cap course, so I'm going to want the wing cap. Alright, I got both those red coins. Those red coins are really hard to get because they're going at such a high speed, and it's really hard to control Mario at that speed. So I only need the wing cap for 2 stars, but because this is such a short star, the stars I would get, the stars I am getting, you could get without the wing cap, and it's not too much of a time difference, but it's worth it to just go ahead and press the switch. Also, sorry, Double, you were saying something?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about us as a marathon a bit.
Alright, well, next stage, oh, sorry, well, I just want to say that next stage I'm going to is Bowser in the Dark World, which is a very movement-intensive level. It's a really easy stage to die to, so I'm going to kind of want to focus for the first little portion here. So what I'm going to be going
Whoa.
for here is a cycle called Shigeru Cycle. There's platforms midway through the stage that are on cycles near where the 6th red coin is. And if I... Okay, I'm already not going to make the cycle, so that's fine. Okay, I'm just going to have to wait on these elevators, yeah. I could have backed that up slightly better. So I'm going to be losing like 8 seconds here because of the cycles. That's a little annoying. Okay. Interesting, Dark World. Alright. That could have gone way better, but at least I didn't die. That's really all you can hope for in a 70-star run. Alright. Thankfully, any amount of slop is better than a death. Alright. I accidentally saved there, but that's fine. So now we gotta face off against Bowser. Now would be a good time for you to say what you wanted to say. Sorry about earlier.
Alright, so you are watching the Supporting Autism Speed Event. We are raising money for the Organization for Autism Research, a charity that strives to fund research on autism as well as ways to enhance the quality of life of individuals with autism. More information about this charity can be found at researchautism.org.
And coming as a guy who actually has autism myself, I strongly urge that you support that. Alright, so I'm actually going to head back to BOB to get the star I would have collected as the first star of the run if I actually got Island Hop, but I'm just going to have to go out of my way to get it now with the wing cap. And, so the only time save that Island Hop would have saved me was I wouldn't have had to make this second trip back. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use kicking to get up this slope, and then I'm going to slide down and convert the horizontal speed into flying, so I can fly all the way up to the island. You need the speed in order to get high enough flight to get up to that island, otherwise you're not going to make it up. Alright. And that kicking up slopes trick that I did there, you just hold A and tap B to do that. It only works on certain kinds of slopes. Alright, so next I'm going to be heading to Kuko Mountain. I'm going to be getting 4 stars from here. First, I'm going to get wall kicks for work. I'm actually going to do a bit of a safe strat on because this is a marathon and I really don't want to die here. Especially because I had a pretty bad beginning. So what I'm going to do here, instead of... I'm just going to do a dive roll out all the way down to the wall kicking area. And when you do a dive roll out, you actually don't take fall damage no matter how far you fall from. I'll just go here, and then... That didn't work for some reason. That also didn't work for some reason. I am having an unusual amount of trouble with this. There we go. Wall kicks don't work sometimes, but they did there. I don't know. I think what was happening was I was holding back a little bit, which caused me to lose my horizontal speed. Okay, so next I'm going to do the Little Penguin Lost Star. And this star is pretty quick and easy. This is one you can show your friends if you're bored and you have this game. Yeah, you can just slide all the way down here and bring the baby penguin to the mama penguin like that. And I'm turning the camera right there again to reduce lag. Alright. So next I'm going to be doing the 100 coin star, and I'm going to be combining it with the slide star. This is actually a variant of the standard 70 star route that's faster than normal. Normally in 70 star, beforehand, we would pair the 100 coin star with the big penguin race, but it actually saves around a second to do it with the slide star and then instead replace it with another star, which I'm going to have be the secret star in Shifting Sandland. So I'm actually going to skip out on this red coin. And this route's also a bit more generous for this 100 coin star. If I want to be optimal, I can only miss 1 coin on the slide here, but it doesn't really matter if I miss that more, because there's plenty of backup coins outside of the slide. Alright, so far I haven't missed a coin. That jump is really hard to get all the coins from. Alright, I'm past all the parts where you normally miss a coin. So I'm going to intentionally miss a coin here, just because I want to end with exactly 100. And the last red coin I'm going to be getting is in the tree right by where the star is. I'm just going to triple jump up to it. Alright. So I didn't grab the red coin properly, but I can just grab the star like that and downward because video game. Yeah, this game has some pretty hilarious glitches in it like that. So next up, I'm going to actually be heading to Big Boost Cons. And I'm only going to be collecting 2 stars from here, but they're 2 relatively quick ones. I'm actually going to be collecting 2 stars that I'm not supposed to be getting yet, because you're supposed to do the first star and then stairs up here that allow you to get to the 2nd floor, but Nintendo forgot you could wall jump when designing this level, so I'm just going to wall jump up to the 2nd floor instead. And for this first star, I'm going to be doing a bit of a puzzle skip here. Normally you're supposed to go through another corridor and solve a puzzle involving hitting books in the right order to get to this balcony, but you can just double jump to it from there. Yeah, in the DS version of the game, they actually put a glass wall there to prevent you from doing that skip, which is pretty hilarious. So next up, I'm going to be doing Big Boo's balcony. I'm going to be entering through this left pair of double doors, by the way, because it's a few frames faster, because Mario pushes the door instead of pulls on it. The animation is shorter. I'm going to be doing that on the other pair of double doors up here. So I'm going to hit the Big Boo twice there, and then I'm going to slide into it for the 3rd hit, because when you slide into an enemy, that does damage to it. And that allows me to just go straight to the balcony and collect a star like that. And with that, we're going to be heading on to the basement. And this is where the run really starts to pick up in difficulty, because we got some really tough stages coming up here. So the first stage I'm going to be going to is Shifting Sandland. I'm going to go ahead and explain this trick now. I'm going to be going for a trick called Pillarless, where if you remember the bomb clip that I failed several times at the start of the run, it's basically an extension of that, where you grab a floated ball bomb that pushes you backwards. However, this time I'm going to be combining it with the hands-free glitch, which is basically allows me to double jump and ground pound with the ball bomb. And I'm going to be getting that by diving into it and grabbing it and then landing on a downward slope. I'm going to use this to clip inside the top of the pyramid without opening the pillars. And with the route I'm doing, I'm actually going to be going for this twice. Once for the pyramid star, once for the secret star. So I'm going to try to focus here for a little bit. So here we go. This is a very difficult trick. Alright, got it. So that's the first time I have to do it, and now I'm going to get the secrets here. So this is actually another reason why I'm actually playing on the English version of the game specifically, and you might be wondering why I'm doing that. First of all, text is faster on the English version, and that's actually ends up saving time in 70 star, but in addition to that, there's a glitch that can happen on that star that can crash the game on the Japanese version, but on the English version, I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go for Pillarless again. Alright, got it. 2 for 2. Very nice. Yeah, I know I made that look easy, but that is not an easy trick to get down. So next I'm going to be doing in the Talents of the Big Bird Star. I'm going to be kind of sort of manipulating a fly guy here. And I'm going to bounce on it and twirl into Klepto here. Like that. Alright. Just one more star, and it's going to be shining on top of the pyramid. This star is actually really easy. It's just a triple jump over a slope, and then converting that into another triple jump. So there you go. That was a pretty good SSL. Didn't fail anything major. And now it's time for Louis the Lava Land, and we're going to be collecting every star except the 100 coin star. And there's some pretty interesting tech in this level as well. So first I'm going to be doing red hot log rolling. I'm going to use this wing cap to fly over the fence instead of doing the star the intended way. So yeah, that kick you just saw me do while I was going really fast is what's known as a speed kick. In order to get that, you have to hold A out of, usually it's a dive rollout, and then hold neutral, and then press B at the right time, and you'll kick while maintaining all of your momentum, which is useful for starting triple jumps. So next I'm going to be doing the volcano stars. For this first one, I'm going to be going for a difficult trick called lava boost, where I'm going to use the lava waterfall here to kind of skip climbing up the volcano. Now, this is somewhat difficult. I am going to be going for the safe version of it, where you just use a triple jump. There we go. You can just kind of land up here. So that strat takes like 15 seconds, probably. And thankfully, and this is the only real category where you get to use that strat in, unless you're a super fast runner 16-star. Alright, next I'm going to be doing the elevator tour star. I'm going to be using another lava boost to skip the first elevator ride. And I just got to do some difficult movement to get to the star from there. Alright, so next I'm going to be doing the red coin star. This is a pretty easy star, so you're probably wondering why I'm doing it now, because as you've noticed, I don't have to get stars in order. I can get them in almost any order I want. And the reason why is because I'm trying to prolong doing star 1 for as long as possible. Otherwise, I won't be able to do... It's not really a good idea for me to hold left at star select screens, because then I'll actually scroll back a star, and usually that ends up wasting time when I'm trying to select the star. So yeah. Alright, so next I'm going to be doing the 2 bowling stars. And for one of the long jumps I'm going to be going for here, I'm going to be holding Z as I'm long jumping toward this brown slope, because that allows me to instantly jump dive off it. If I weren't holding Z here, I couldn't do that. I'm going to go for a ledge grab skip here. Nice. And just kind of KO that big bully. Alright, so I have one more star here, and it's the bully star. So I'm going to be doing the same movement to get to where I got to the big bully, but then I'm going to head off to the right once I reach the big bully platform. And take on the other bullies. These bullies can be rather annoying, especially if you kind of get comboed by them. And I got all 3 of them at once, that's very good. And that's it for me, the lava land. That was actually really good. So now, in the old 70-star route, you would actually go to Hazy Maze Cave, but I'm actually going to be saving that for later, and now that I have 30 stars, I'm going to head over to the 30-star door, so that I can go to Dire Docks. I'm actually going to be heading back to Hazy Maze Cave much later in the run. So this is the new route. Instead of getting the Snowman's Land red coin star, I'm actually going to be getting the second MIP set of heroes at 50 stars. So I'm going to be heading back to the basement once I'm done with the upstairs stages, but before going into tipping. So next up is Dire Docks. The first star involves opening 4 chests in a specific order. There's not a whole lot to it. Optimized swimming in this game actually involves pressing A in a rhythm. And runners typically rely on audio cues to know if you have optimal swimming. So right now I have optimal swimming, because Mario's continuously making this noise. So yeah, it's very important that I listen to the gameplay audio here. And I have to be careful that I swim right into that star, because there's actually a ceiling. That wall is actually a ceiling hitbox that's right behind that star, and if Mario swims into a ceiling, he gets pushed downwards. And so I would down warp all the way down to the floor. And that would be really... So here's a Board Bowser sub. The submarine actually lags the game quite a bit. So once I get into the tunnel here, I'm actually going to be holding C left, which will allow me to point the camera sideways and keep the sub out of view for as long as possible. you can see, you're going to be able to see just how much the sub lags the game once I actually get on it. So that ends up saving quite a bit of time, actually. There we go. After this is the Manta Ray Star. So due to a bug in the game's code, the Manta Ray's rings here their physical orientation doesn't actually match their visible orientation, so they can be very tricky to swim through sometimes, but thankfully for these first 5 rings, it's somewhat decent, so as long as I can get these, I should be fine. And I did. Yeah, sometimes if you mess up those rings the wrong way, you'll be taking a lap with the Manta. There we go. Alright, so the next level, Bowser in the Fire Sea, is another cycle-based level. There's elevators midway through the stage that operate on up and down cycle. And I'm going to be going for the fastest cycle known as Lava Boost Early Ellie's, where I have very little leeway for this first part of the level, so I'm going to once again try to focus here. Coming up is actually new movement discovered very recently. That actually makes this part a little bit easier. So unfortunately I was a little sluggish earlier, so I don't know if I'm definitely not on pace to make the cycle now. But I can still make a normal early Ellie's if I don't make another huge mistake. Alright. Yeah, this is definitely still normal early Ellie's. There we go. So, what the fastest strat is you would do a lava boost onto those elevators instead, and you can climb up the elevators in a much quicker way. Missed that right away. If I hadn't missed that, I could have gone for a good ending here, but I'm just going to instead lava boost, which isn't that much slower. Early cycle is still very good, so it's not a huge time loss. And now it's time for the second Bowser fight. So this Bowser fight, in terms of Bowser throws, this is the easiest one to make, but it's the worst one to miss, because if you miss this throw, then Bowser will do this attack again, and I can't actually grab his tail during that. So I have to make sure I don't miss this. Alright, perfect. And with that, we have the second key, so now we're able to go on upstairs. That was a pretty solid basement portion. So the first upstairs stage I'm going to be going to is Wet Dry World. This stage has a pretty neat gimmick in it where, depending on what height you enter the painting at, will determine the initial water level. There are 3 different water levels you can get. For all but 1 star, I'm going to be entering on the lowest water level, and for 1, I'm going to be entering on the medium. Also, there's a cool little ledge grab clip you can do to clip to the ceiling here that's really easy. So to start, I'm going to be doing the 100 coin star. I'm going to be pairing it with the secret star. This star is probably one of the best stars in terms of routing and movement. It just flows really nicely. Although there is a lot of RNG. Every time I kill an enemy or break a box here, the coin's trajectory, angle, and speed is completely random. So I kind of have to be constantly on the lookout here. The star almost never goes the same way twice. Also, enemy movements are random, like those speeders there. Yeah, this star is... There's not a whole lot I have to say about it. Just kind of watch and be mesmerized by the movement. I was supposed to side flip there, but side flipping is hard in 3D Mario games. Alright, other than that, like, one little mishap on those boxes there, that was actually a really good start. Maybe spamming C left as I long jump to that star. Again, just to reduce some lag. So for this next star, I'm going to be doing the elevator star next, and there's a pretty difficult side flip, dribble, jump, wall kick I'm going to go for that saves around 3 seconds. It's a little finicky, So hopefully I can get this really quickly. It wastes a lot of time to miss it. Okay. I had a really bad angle there, so I'm not going to bother with it. Right, that was what that movement should have looked like. Not what I meant to do, but that works. And instead of riding the elevator all the way up, I'm just going to walk and pick up the shaft, or not. Hello, camera. Yeah, the camera in this game, it's not bad, but it's also not terribly great. Sometimes it can be fickle to work with. So I'm actually going to be entering on the medium water level for the next star. And the reason why is so I can do this. Oh, I meant to long jump there. You can long jump and bounce on that speeder to get to the screen quicker. Right, I meant to convert that sidestep into a triple jump dive, but that's fine. Good backup movement. There's plenty of backup strats in this game, as you can tell. Alright, one star is left, and it's shocking arrow lifts. Except I'm not going to actually be using the arrow lifts like they mean for you to use. Because Nintendo's... They had made some questionable level design choices. Like, for example, they placed a teleporter over here. That takes you right here, which coincidentally is right above where the star is. Which means you can easily skip all the arrow lifts. It's pretty hilarious. So that's it for Wet Dry World. Next up, we're going to be going to Tiny Huge Island. And there's actually two entrances to THI here. I'm only going to be entering the small painting because no star that I can... Because, like, entering the big painting, it takes too long to get there, and it takes too long to navigate around the huge island. So it would be worth it. I'm going to start with the secret star here. I'm just going to kind of let you watch this. Alright, that was perfect. Pretty much. For my standards. So yeah, as you can see, that's just a very, very movement-intensive star. So next up, I'm going to be doing the tip-top of the huge island. I'm going to ledge grab through the floor here, because, you know, that makes sense. Jump this pipe here, and hopefully this Chuckia doesn't try to mess me up. Oh. Okay, I meant to do a double jump kick there, but I pressed A at the wrong time, so the game didn't let me jump. Too much time, though. Alright, and next is the Piranha Plant star, which is not too hard of a star. Although, if you fall off the island where the Piranha Plants are, then that's a pretty bad time loss. Also, if you get hit by that guy, because he can be kind of hard to avoid sometimes. And if you're wondering why I've been ground pounding stars, it's just because it sends you to the floor faster. Alright, so that's it for Tiny Huge Island. Next up is Tulsa Mountain. And this is another fairly difficult level. There's also quite a bit that can go wrong here. I'm going to be going for a lot of tough strats here. But first we have the first Toad Star of the run, which as you can tell is very difficult. There are 3 of these in the game, and I'm going to be collecting all 3 of them in the run. They're all very, very impressive, I know. So for this first star, I'm going to be taking the use of steep floor physics to clip through this mountain wall here, and then up warp in the water, because, you know, that makes sense. I'll skip like half the mountain. And then wall kick off that log to save a second. Perfect star. So I'm actually going to be doing that twice, once to get that star, and then once to get the star all the way at the top of the mountain. It's actually, executing that log wall kick is actually pretty precise. It's easy to mess up. So as you can see, I made that mountain look like a complete joke. Next up, I'm going to blast to the Lonely Mushroom, except I'm not actually going to blast to it. I'm going to use a Crazy Box to get there. This strat looks scarier than it is. It's actually really easy. And now that I've said that, I'm probably going to fail it. Yeah. It looks tight, and it kind of is, but once you know the proper positioning and angle, it's not hard. Right, next up is the red coin star. This is another pretty movement-based star. I'm going to use the zoomed-in camera here again for some lag reduction. There's another instance where I press Z. 120 muscle memory took over there. Right. Back that up nicely. I did the wrong movement there, but you kind of saw what I meant to do. I meant to do a triple jump after that 6th red. And that was how I would have wall kicked up to that 7th red. This next strat, I'm going to go for a strat called Breezos, where I'm going to use a triple jump wall kick to use a one-way walled fence to clip me inside the mountain, and then ground pound to get into the compartment where the star is. This is actually very hard. And I just got it. Very nice. So that's called Breezos, because normally what you would do for that star is go into the vertical wind and ride it up to the higher level and then just jump down into the star, but you can do that. So next up is Snowman's Land. So again, in the old route you would get the red coin star here, but I'm only going to be getting 4 stars here. Starting with Snowman's Big Head. This is another summon I'll just let speak for itself. Make the snowman's head look like a complete joke. Next, I'm going to do Whirl from the Freezing Pond. This is actually a pretty precise strat I'm going to go for here. And I'm just going to make use of another speed kick to start a triple jump. Perfect. If you can getting that ground pound next to the star box is way more difficult than I just made it look. It's kind of a crapshoot because you're basically doing that jump blind. And next up is one of the hardest stars in the game, and it takes a really long time. Yeah, that was difficult. The stage is very fast-paced in this run. I think the longest star is like 15 seconds, if that. Next up is Chill with the Bully. I think you're going to like this strat. So while you're on ice, if you slide like that and slide into the Chill Bully, you can just stun lock it until it falls off the edge. Pretty easy KO. I just golded that split, by the way. So now that I'm done with this stage, I'm actually going to go back into the level, and I'm going to exit course to get to the lobby faster, and this is when I'm going to head back to the basement. Because now that I have 50 stars, the second Nips is going to be available, so that's what I'm going to collect instead of the red coin star in that level. And I'm also going to be collecting the second Toad Star of the run and getting through HMC, or Hazy Maze Cave, while I'm down here. So that second Nips is actually faster than the first one, but as you can see, the same strat still works for it. And all of this for 1 second, just for the record. So while I'm here, I'm also going to get another Toad Star. I'm going to be getting 4 stars in Hazy Maze Cave. So for this first star, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that they didn't really program in ceilings for parts of Hazy Maze Cave, so you can kind of just jump over walls in a bunch of places. I'm going to be doing that in here. I'm going to triple jump off a box and triple jump over the wall. Like that. And conveniently, the underground cavern is right there, so I can just fall onto the star like that. So next I'm going to be doing the amazing emergency exit star, which is another star with a actually pretty big sequence break. So you're supposed to go through the hazy maze, ride an elevator out of the exit, and then you're supposed to climb on mesh to get to the star platform, but I'm just going to triple jump wall kick up to it instead, because that's fast. And that makes that star really easy. So up next is Metalhead Mario Can Move, and you might be wondering how I'm going to get this star because I don't exactly have the metal cap unlocked. But the thing is, if you're falling with the right amount of downward speed, you can actually land on the switch by just falling in the water. If you do it right, without the metal cap. So to get that, I'm just gonna casually triple jump wall kick over that wall, and I'm gonna try to land on the switch here, and I got it. That's actually referred to as the Christmas miracle for whatever reason. And the last star is going to be Watch for Rolling Rocks, which is pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to say about this star. The only minor noteworthy thing about it is that the boulders are RNG, so sometimes they can kind of get in your way. But most of the time, this star goes fairly well. There's not a lot to say about it. So yeah, if those boulders bounce to the left, then you kind of have to go out of your way to dodge them. So now that I'm done with Hazy Maze Cave, I'm going to go back into the level. And then I'm going to exit course again to get back to the lobby and head back up to Tippy. Again, I'm doing all this for 1 second. Did not mean to do that. So up next is Tippy, aka the Tippy top portion of the castle, where Rainbow Ride, Tick-Tock Clock, and Bowser in the Sky reside. This is definitely the hardest part of a 70-star run, for sure. This is where runs go to die, basically. It's easy to fall in all three of these stages, and any mistake in Tippy is usually the end of the run. And there's a lot of difficult stuff here. So to start off Rainbow Ride, I'm going to go for a strat called like Key2 Bounce, which kind of speaks for itself. So I just kind of lure that like Key2 in a specific way so I can bounce on it and get onto that ramp. And then I can just use these poles to climb up to the higher sections of this, where I'm normally supposed to use the carpet ride, but I can just skip all the carpet rides and get straight to the cruiser star. So that saves like minutes. So next up is Tricky Triangles. There's like 2 places where I can die within the first 10 seconds of the star, so I'm going to try to focus here. Alright, this should be good. Alright, we're good. Yeah, that star is actually, that first triple jump wall kick and then the 2 long jumps are actually pretty precise. Next I'm going to be doing Swinging in the Breeze. This is more of a scary star than a difficult star. Alright. That went well though. And the last star I have to do is the red coin star, which is also pretty straightforward. By the way, this beginning triple jump wall kick I'm doing here skips a carpet ride. There you go. That arch wall kick is very difficult. Alright, that was a really good RR. One more main course to go, and that's going to be Tick-Tock Clock. So I'm going to be collecting every star in this level. So it's an important thing to know about Tick-Tock Clock here. I'm going to enter when the minute hand's on the 12 here, because that's going to cause the moving parts to be frozen. If it's near the 9, they move fast, 6, they move random, and 3, they move slowly. I'm only going to be entering on the 12 or the 9 here. So the star I'm going to do Tick-Tock 100 coin star. I'm just, once again, going to let the star speak for itself. This is a very good minute sensitive star, and I've already screwed it up. A little bit of slop at the beginning here, but overall, not TTC 100 I will definitely accept, but it's not over yet because I still have to get to the swamp here. Alright, got the wall kick off the swamp. I rarely get to do that. Alright, now I'm going to be doing the 3 moving stars. I'm going to, by entering with the moving bars and with the moving hands near the 9, I'm going to be able to do this cool triple jump wall kick into another wall kick into another triple jump through the spinners. Oh, and I messed it up. So now I'm actually going to do res with time moving, because this is a backup you can do. So you're actually supposed to have the clock stop to be able to do these red coins, but as you can see with the spinners, moving like that, you can just get the red coins with time moving. You really only want to do that as a backup, but as you can see, I've done it so much, I'm just used to it at this point. Alright, so now I have no more good backups though for the strut, so I kind of have to get it. And I have to do... Oh, okay. Accidentally hit the start button there. So now I have to do that 3 times. Okay. I think I pressed A a little too early there. Yeah, the strat's a little finicky. Now I kind of have to climb this clock the quote-unquote normal way. I should not have gone for that triple jump. And I'm dead. That's very unfortunate. That cost me a lot of time. So I'm actually going to enter on the time with the time on a 12 now. I'm going to do time jumps on moving bars. Alright, that star went well though. Alright, I still have to do 3 moving stars, so hopefully I can actually get to do the strat. There we go. It's honestly not too hard, but if you approach it at the slightest wrong way, then it can go wrong. And I still have to do that 2 more times. Alright, that was a fast star. Alright, 1 more star I have to do that for, and then I'll be done with TTC. And then the last star I have to get is from Toad. This has been a very interesting run so far, honestly. Oh. Okay, no idea what happened there. Can I get a... That's never happened before? Alright. Alright, I'm actually going to avoid the fire shooter this time. Fortunately, it's for this star, which is kind of the best star to miss that strat to. Alright, so I lost like close to a minute on that TTC, but this run could still be a mid-high 51 if my sky goes well. And anticlimactic 70 star for the win. Alright, with that we're on to the final level, Bowser in the Sky. So this level is also pretty straightforward. It has a couple tricky parts to it. This triple jump dive being one of them. Got it. And coming up here is a difficult triple jump arch wall kick that I'm going to use to skip part of the pyramid section. I'm going to be going for the non-moving left side because that's the easiest, but it's also the slowest one. You can do that on the right side, but it's a lot more difficult. Alright, I I could have gone for a faster elevator cycle there, but I was a little slow. Scuba is in a questionable position. And with that, all I have left is the Bowser fight. So each missed throw is anywhere from 12 to 15 seconds, so let's hope I just don't miss any. This is where runs go to die. And I've already missed a throw. This first throw is actually the easiest, so... Right. Hit. I gotta do that 2 more times. That's 2. And that's 3. Alright. So time is going to be when I touch the big star at the end. So get ready for time on my mark. This actually wasn't too bad of a run for resetless, aside from the very beginning. And okay, time, by the way. This actually wasn't that bad of a run, aside from the struggles in the very first start of the run in TTC. So my timer says 51:45. My PB, just for reference, is a 49:51. And the world record is a 47:31 by Tago. So yeah, thank you all for watching. And I'll be back with way more runs than this, don't worry. So, yeah. I'll throw it on over to the host.
Okay, Super Viper, thank you so much for that amazing run of Super Mario 64. It was very impressive to see, and yeah, that is going to do it for today. But we're not quite done yet. We will be back tomorrow at 10:25 a.m. Central European Summertime, which is 8:25 a.m. UTC, or I need to get my timing right. 4 a.m. 4:25 a.m. Eastern, and 1:25 a.m. Pacific. So the final donation count for today sits at $85.01. Yeah, thank you all for your incredible generosity on just this first day. And let's meet back tomorrow to see what those runs will be. Starting tomorrow with Yoshi's Story by Green Snowdog. Thank you for watching, and see you back tomorrow.